Earlier in the course, I told you that functional components are stateless and class components are stateful. So if you want to store some state, or if you want to use lifecycle methods, we have to use classes. Well, that's no longer valid since React 16.8. In React 16.8, we got a new feature called hooks that allow us to build functional components with all the features we have in class components. So we can use state and lifecycle features of class components. Now, you might be wondering why this feature was introduced. Well, there are a few reasons for this. One reason is that classes are a bit difficult for some people to understand, especially new programmers. If you have a good background in object-oriented programming, classes are second nature for you, but that is not true for every programmer out there. Also, JavaScript classes are not like real classes that we have in object-oriented languages like C# or Java. They're essentially syntactic sugar over constructor functions. I talked about this in the second part of my JavaScript course called Object-Oriented Programming in JavaScript. So that's one issue. The other issue is that this keyword is confusing in JavaScript, and we have to deal with it all the time when we're building class components. And the third issue is that writing class components requires a bit of boilerplate code. We have to create a class that extends React component. Perhaps we have to create a constructor and so on. So that is the reason why the React team decided to spend some time and improve functional components. Now with the addition of hooks, we can create powerful functional components that have all the features that we have in class components. And our code looks shorter and cleaner. Let me show you. So here we have a basic counter component. Now I'm going to show you two implementations, one using a class component and the other using a functional component. Here's the implementation using a class component. So we have this class that extends the component class in React. Here we have the state. We have this event handler where we increase the state. As you can see, we have two references to this keyword in JavaScript. And here's our render method. We're returning a fragment that contains a div for displaying the count value and a button for increasing the count. Now let's look at the implementation using a functional component. You can immediately see the code is shorter and cleaner. So this is the beauty of functional components. We don't have to create a class. We don't have to type extends component. We don't have to create constructors and call super to pass the props. We don't have any references to this keyword here. That is why I love functional components. Now look at line 4. Here we're calling the use state function. This is one of the hooks in React. It allows us to hook into React state. We didn't have this feature before React 16.8. So over the next few videos, we're going to look at hooks in more detail.